Hello everyone, I know I sound different, let's just say this is my alter ego. For today's video, I'll be listing the best new Roguevania games you should play in 2025. For anyone who doesn't know, Roguevania is a mix of roguelike and Metroidvania genres, hence the name. Since there are so few Roguevania games out there, I'll also be including some great ones released in 2024, as well as some that haven't been released yet but are set to come out later this year. But before that...
Wait. Before we go into the list, I want to introduce you guys to the best platform where you can get games for insanely cheap price, Instant Gaming.
Huh?
In Instant Gaming, there are a lot of games with amazing discount. Seriously, brother, just look at this! There are a ton of games at 90% off, and you can even get a game for just $1. Freaking $1, bro! You guys probably think this is too good to be true, huh? Well, don't worry. Instant Gaming is totally legit, super fast, and their support is available 24/7. All you have to do is click my link in the description below, start search for your favorite games, and use the activation key on your chosen platform. By using my link, you are not only saving a lot of money, but also supporting my channel. Thanks for checking it out, now let's get back into the list.
If you love games like Spelunky or Rogue Legacy, then Aura of Worlds is definitely worth checking out. Unlike Spelunky, which requires a super tactical approach, Aura of Worlds leans more into fast-paced hack-and-slash action. Sure, smart decision-making helps, but you won't instantly lose a run just because of one wrong move. In fact, the jump-in and figure-it-out strategy often works best here. In addition to that, this game gives you a ton of weapons and abilities to experiment with. Some weapons are clearly stronger than others, but testing different setups is part of the fun. DurDanto is a Metroidvania game with cool elemental powers, exciting exploration, and roguelike dungeons. While there are some roguelike elements, they don't take over the whole game. The roguelike dungeons are tough, and if you fail, you have to start over, making each run feel exciting. But these dungeons are important for the story, helping you unlock new abilities and key items to explore further. With a fun mix of action and adventure, DurDanto has a lot of potential. If you don't mind trying it in early access, it's definitely worth a look. The Witch and the Bottle of Concepts is a pseudo-Metroidvania, pseudo-roguelike. I say pseudo because while it has elements of both genres, it doesn't fully commit to either. In this game, you play as a witch with no memory, but everyone insists she's Alice, the most powerful witch on the island. Since she's forgotten all her magic, she's stuck whacking enemies with a broom. But she does have a magical companion who can cast spells for her. The Witch and the Bottle of Concepts may not be a perfect Metroidvania or a full-on roguelike, but if you play it as its own thing, it's a fun, unique experience. Immortals Must Die feels like a mix of MapleStory, Vampire Survivors, and Dead Cells. It has fast action, fun combat, and a cool upgrade system, and at first, it feels really exciting to play. There are even little mini-games, like the classic Spike Fall Challenge from Super Mario Bros., which add a fun break from the main gameplay. But after a while, you start to notice the problems. The game is built around grinding. If you enjoy roguelites with a heavy emphasis on grinding, you might like it, but if you're looking for new challenges and variety, Immortals Must Die might not keep you interested for long. Koboo the Tree Spirit is a fast-paced roguelike where you play as a tiny but fierce owl-like spirit defending the forest from invading humans. The game does a great job making you feel like a guardian of nature using cool weapons and spirit powers to fight back. The first thing you'll notice is how beautiful the game looks and sounds. The pixel art is gorgeous, and the music creates a mystical woodland vibe that feels like an old folklore tale. Even though the library shows a scary demonic face in the game, you're a cute but deadly little creature, which makes it even more fun. Katanaut is an action-packed roguelite set on a massive space station that's falling apart. The station is spinning out of control, and the people who once lived there have turned into terrifying creatures. You play as Naut, the unlucky one sent to figure out what happened, if you can survive. In this game, every fight is intense, every hallway is unsettling, and every step forward brings you closer to the truth hidden in the station's shadows. Since the game hasn't been released yet, you guys can try out the demo first. Emberfall is the first Roguevania survivor, an action platformer blending roguelite, Metroidvania, and survivor elements. In this game, you explore the dangerous catacombs of the fallen citadel Lemia, filled with monsters, traps, and mysteries. But there's a catch. You only have 10 minutes to escape before you're trapped forever. The game is fast and tough with snappy controls and non-stop action. Instead of worrying about complex maps and backtracking, you just play, die, learn, and repeat. And just like Katanaut, you can try out the demo since the game hasn't been released yet. An Amazing Wizard is a fast-paced 2D roguelike with Metroidvania-style exploration and deep spell customization. You'll create and combine spells using 7 powerful elements, crafting over 120 unique magic attacks in any order you want. The game lets you choose your playstyle, be a summoner, a melee brawler, or a fireball-throwing spellcaster with wild effects like boomerang spells and gravity zones. Each biome is unique, with tough enemies, tricky elites, and bosses that get stronger and smarter with every run. I know the game isn't out yet, but don't worry, it will be released in early access this year. And just like the previous games, you can try the demo if you're interested. In a sea of roguelite games, FROGUE stands out as something truly unique. It takes elements from different games and blends them into something fresh. Imagine the map and zone progression of Scourgebringer, the movement mechanics of Dandara, and a mix of puzzle, arcade, and action gameplay, all wrapped in a stylish roguelite package. At first, you might think these mechanics shouldn't work together, but they do. Moving across platforms and attacking with precise jumps feels like a strategy puzzle, while the fast-paced combat, bullet dodging, and combo timer keep the action intense. Even though FROGUE leans more toward the puzzle side, action fans will still enjoy its quick pace and satisfying mechanics. Nevergrave is a Roguevania game where you play as a young witch with a cursed hat using magic and the power to take control of enemies to explore deep dungeons. What makes Nevergrave stand out is how it mixes platforming and base building. While dungeon crawling is the heart of the game, the materials you collect let you rebuild a ruined village, creating houses, farms, and facilities that make you stronger for the next adventure. If things get too difficult, you can team up with up to 4 players and explore dungeons together, making battles easier and more exciting. Ufouria 2 calls itself a sequel to the classic Metroidvania Ufouria, but it's really something else. Instead of the open-ended exploration of a Metroidvania, the game focuses on replaying levels, collecting coins, and buying upgrades to progress, becoming more of a Roguevania. This shift was likely due to budget limits, but it completely changes the feel of the game. That being said, Ufouria 2 is still amazing to play. The levels are short, the art style is beautiful, and the dialogue is fun and charming, with a humor style similar to Japanese 4-koma comics. Not laugh out loud funny, but lighthearted and witty. Nightmare. The Lunatic takes inspiration from games like Dead Cells, but keeps things shorter and a bit easier on its base difficulty. It's a Roguevania with lots of upgrades, but they're balanced, so the game never feels unfair or broken. One of the main mechanics is weapon switching. You always have 3 weapons, and swapping between them gives you bonuses. At first, I thought 3 weapons would be too much, but they each feel useful and balanced. Some weapons even keep working after switching, like the pistol that keeps shooting or the hammer with a powerful special attack. The game also adds cool effects on weapon swaps, making the system feel fresh and rewarding. Dragon is Dead is exactly what an early access game should be. The core gameplay is already solid, and if you enjoy watching a game evolve and giving feedback, now is a great time to jump in. But if you prefer a more polished and content-rich experience, it might be worth waiting a bit longer. The game plays a lot like Dead Cells, but with more focus on gear and skill trees. There are already tons of different builds to try. You can mix and match fire, ice, and lightning buffs with physical attacks, which actually feels a bit like the sorcerer builds in Diablo 4. Seventh Domain is a 2D action game that mixes roguelike, Metroidvania, and treasure hunting gameplay. You play as a child of destiny, fighting to repair a broken world and uncover its hidden truths. The combat is fast and fluid with tons of weapons and skills that allow for different strategies and playstyles. In addition to that, it also features a deep loot system with various equipment affixes that let you create powerful builds. This game is made by a small indie team, and while development has had its challenges, they are passionate about creating a unique experience. They welcome player feedback, whether it's suggestions, ideas, or even complaints, as they continue to improve the game. Before we go to the number 1 on this list, I want to show you guys a few honorable mentions. Soul Essence is a fast-paced survival horror game with roguelite and Metroidvania elements, where time is your greatest enemy. You are trapped in a haunted estate filled with cultists and dark secrets, racing against the clock to collect awakened souls and grow stronger. As midnight approaches, the ancient god awakens, ready to consume your essence, unless you can stop it in time. Pandash is a fast-paced Roguevania where you play as Ryu, a warrior on a mission to save his world with help from a mysterious, ghostly force. Along the way, you'll collect different perks, each giving you new powers. You can set traps everywhere, throw giant explosive projectiles, or charge through enemies with a strong melee build. It's all about choosing what works best for you. Now let's get back to the number 1 on this list. So you've heard of Dead Cells' return to Castlevania, right? Yeah? Well, get ready for Dead Cells' return to Monkey. Dunjungle is an absolute blast to play. From the moment you jump in, the vibrant art style, catchy music, and smooth gameplay will hook you. Right now, Dunjungle doesn't have as much variety as Dead Cells, but that's not really a fair comparison since Dead Cells has had years of updates and DLCs. What Dunjungle does instead is focus on a smaller set of weapons and let you modify them with different effects, which I actually prefer since it lets you adapt without starting from scratch. That's all for today's list. Subscribe and like for more new exciting Metroidvania games. That's it, and see you next time.